Professor Reddy, sir, we request you for the convocation address.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, Honorable Governor of Uttar Pradesh and visitor of the Institute, Srimati Anandaben Patel, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Sri Brijesh Patak, Honorable Minister of State, Parliamentary Affairs and Medical Education, Sri Charan Singh Ji, Director Professor Radhakrishnan Dhiman, Dean Professor Shalin Kumar, Executive Registrar Lieutenant Colonel Varun Bajpai, esteemed faculty, members and distinguished guests, proud parents and the graduating class of SGPGI. I feel humble and gratitude to the SGPGI administration for giving me an opportunity to follow so many distinguished chief guests earlier. But this is not about the chief guest. Today is the day of the graduating students. Today is the day where you students, after going through the drills of what SGPA offers. SGPA is one of the best institutions, not only in our country, but in the world for medical education. SGPA is one of the best research centers in our country. You have gone through this, and Honorable Minister Charan Singh was saying that you have to go stepwise from 5th place to 1st place. Sir, in my opinion, SGPGI in Department of Gastroenterology is already in the 1st place in the country. With outstanding faculty research that they have done, contributed to the country in terms of hundreds of students who have spread their knowledge through the country, and I think that we are very proud of that. But as the students, as you prepare to go into the real world, this is your day of triumph, this is your day of transition. You are going to have many challenges, you are going to be tested, but the rewards are going to be tremendous. What I'm going to do is that I'll take a few minutes to tell you about my journey, not because I want to tell you about what I achieved, but to show examples that a moment of reflection, a day of serendipity can change your careers. After finishing my post-graduation at PGI Chandigarh, I went all over the world, worked in many, many parts of the world, and came back to Hyderabad. In the 40 years since I graduated, I realized the value of my education at PGI, which is similar to what happens at GPGI. Not only are we taught the technical skills, the knowledge, but also responsible independence that a doctor requires. And this responsible independence is going to be what carries you through in your career. So I came back to Hyderabad, started practice. I made a lot of money in private practice. I thought I was very successful, huge amount of money. One day my father, a professor of pathology, an academician, he was actually visiting professor to SGPG, also called me home and told me, son, you're utter failure. I said, failure? I said, I thought I was making a lot of money and successful. He said, no. Have you done any research? Have you taught any students? Have you built any institutions? Have you done anything in the community? My answer was no. I then realized in that moment that success is not money, fame or influence. Success is your ability to impact lives of people, impact life of patients, impact life of students, impact the society around you. That is the true meaning of success. So I then decided to change my career pathway, stop practice and see how I can do to set up institutions and do research and so on. I got together a group of well-meaning gastroenterologists of similar age, and together we set up the first Asian Institute of Gastroenterology. But it's not easy. We didn't have the money, we didn't have the infrastructure. And this is where serendipity actually took place. I was called one day by the neighboring chief minister, whose wife had a laparoscopic cholecystectomy, and in the middle of the night developed severe cholangitis with a CBD stone. She was almost in deathbed. He sent me a private plane and I went there, did a ERCP. Fortunately, it was an easy stone, removed the stone. And miraculously, within 2 hours, she was sitting up eating a breakfast. So he told me that, why don't you get this technology in here? I said, can you help me in Hyderabad? And he helped me to get the infrastructure, the building and so on. And that's how we started the first 200-bedded standalone gastroenterology institute in the country. And then a series of serendipities occurred, and now, of course, we have 1,000-bedded institute, predominantly gastroenterology. We have another 300-bedded institute, again gastroenterology. We have over 1,000 patients, over 700 procedures every day, hundreds of surgeries. Our staff has contributed to thousands of research papers. We have several textbook chapters and so on. All this occurred because of one moment of reflection, one day of serendipity. And this is going to happen to all of you. In your career, you're going to have a day of serendipity, you're going to have a moment of reflection. Grab them, don't leave them, because this is where your direction will be shown to. And I'll leave some few final points of my thinking for graduates. I call them the 10 commandments. The first commandment is respect your parents. Your parents are the ones who brought you to this stage. Your parents are the ones who guided you to this stage. Today, your parents are sitting in another room, but if you look at their eyes, they sacrifice so much that the pride that they have in their eyes is unbelievable. Continue to look after them. Second, respect your teachers. I think teachers are one of the most important part of our lives. There are people like Professor Radha Deeman, internationally famous hepatologist, left everything to come here, guide you, teach you. These are the quality of teachers you have in SGPGI. And let me just tell you another example of somebody I knew, of somebody I want to mention today, Professor S.R. Naik. Professor S.R. Naik was the first gastroenterology professor at GPI. He had cancer of the stomach. He knew he had cancer of the stomach in the terminal part. Continued to work till the last day. And with the cancer of the stomach, he organized the largest national ISG meeting just before his death. He never gave up. He produced legacy of students who continue. And I think this is an example of a typical consultant of SGPGI. I have a tremendous respect for them because I run institutions, so I know how hard it is to get good people. But yet, the consultants, the professors here, madam, work with a salary which is 1/10 of what they can get in private sector. They work with dedication, they work with vigor. They are the ones who are serving the community. And I think these consultants are the ones whom you should continue to respect. Keep looking after them. The third important point that I like to point, third commandment I call it, is the lifelong learners. Medicine is a changing science. Medicine technology is changing. You have to keep reading. If you don't do that, the strong foundation that you have had now will go back. You have to keep on learning. A lifelong learner you have to be. The third important thing is cultivate discipline, determination, and an attitude. There's a very important American psychologist who actually studied people who graduated from colleges and found what happened 30 years later. And he found that the most successful people 30 years later were not those who came first in the class, who were the most brilliant, but the most successful people who showed discipline in the college and who showed social networking. These are the people who are going to come up in life. And this is very important that you start this social networking. This is the fourth point, because SGPGI has a very strong peer group. In every part of the country, every part of the world, every city, every state, you have a group of SGPGI graduates. Get together, network with them. This peer group is going to be very important for you. This is what I like to suggest. The sixth is important, compassion and communication. These are two very important C's that are part of our career. Compassion, we don't just heal the disease, we heal the person. This is very important. See how you can look at the person as a whole and start treating him rather only the disease. And communication. You're all brilliant doctors, you're all trained very well, you're good doctors. But from good doctors, how do you become great doctors? Angela Duckworth, a fantastic writer, said this, that from a good doctor to become a great doctor, the only difference is communication. Become a great communicator and then you become a great doctor. And this is again something that you have to learn over a period of time. A lot of necessary education necessary for that. The other thing that I'd like to tell you about is the leadership and teamwork. What happens is when you're going to go out in the world, you're going to become leaders. You're going to have a group of people around you. Learn how to lead. Learn how to say sorry when you make a mistake. Learn how to acknowledge thank you when somebody does something good. Learn to take advice from others. This is very important. What happens is you're all super specialists, you're all consultants. A certain amount of arrogance develops. This happened to me also when I came back from PGA. But we realized that this should not go. You have to learn from others. It continues to go. One of the other thing, that eighth thing that I want to tell you about is what we are not taught in medical school. What I never learned in college or education, in medical education, was how to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship and financial education is never taught to us as knowledge. Money is a dirty word, but as you go to the real world, you should know about entrepreneurship. You should know about how to manage. If you don't have money, if you have too much money, how to manage. This is very important. So what I would suggest is get into a business school and learn a little about it. Short courses of 1 month. In fact, I'd suggest to Dr. Radha that maybe you should start a short course of entrepreneurship and financial literacy in institutions like SGPGA. So people are taught. In fact, we do this with the Indian School of Business every year. If people are taught how to, when you go out in the real world, it's totally different world. You're protected here. Everything is done in a systematic fashion. You don't care about the money. You get a good stipend, that's enough. But when you go into the real world, you have to manage your own practice. You have to manage your own institution. You have to manage so many other things which requires skills in financial education. The ninth thing is stay humble. It's very important. I've had opportunity to interact with the top artists, top sportsmen, top politicians, and all of them have one quality: humility. Humility, humility. However big you become in life, however great doctor you are, humility is very important. Arrogance is the cliff that comes you down. Once you develop arrogance, you're down. You just fall down the cliff. And of course, the other important thing, the last commandment is, it's very important to stay balanced with all your work. I give the example of a rubber ball and a glass ball. A rubber ball is your career. You throw it down, it comes again. So even if it goes, your career goes down, you can go to another institute, build it up and so on. The glass ball is your family, friends and health. If you throw it down, it breaks, it will never come back. That is very important. And finally, as you leave this campus today, you are graduated from one of the most prestigious institutions in the country, in the world. You don't just take your degrees with you. You also take the reputation of SGPGA with you. Every single one of you here represents SGPGA. And when you go out into this world, and I know that because when we employ people, if an SGPGA candidate applies to our institute, there's no interview is taken immediately. That is the reputation SGPGA carries. And that is what you must, when you go out, you have the trust of your patients, the hopes of your family, and the reputation of SGPGA. Keep all that up. When you go out in the real world, you'll have challenges, you'll have many tests, but believe me, there are immense potentials. There are immense potentials for all of us in this country. I think today we have a leadership which has created an economic boon. Today we have leadership which has made India one of the top respected countries in the field of medicine. Wherever I go all over the world, this is the respect that we get as Indians. And I think this is an opportunity you must take to build up. I'll ask you to stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay committed to excellence. And if you do that, there is no limits to the sky. You can achieve anything you want in this world. And again, I congratulate all of you for passing out today and wish you a very successful, a very promising career, and hope you continue, as everybody else said, serve this country. This is our country, and we have to make it the best in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the 10 points shared by you is going to enlighten the pathway of these youths throughout their life. We are highly indebted for your insightful speech. Thank you, sir. माननीय राज्यपाल महोदया से अनुग्रह है कि प्रोफेसर डी नागेश्वर रेड्डी सर को स्मृति चिन्ह भेंट करने हेतु सामने आए। सभी मंचासीन अतिथियों से अनुरोध है कि मुख्य अतिथि के सम्मान में सम्मिलित होने के लिए सामने आए।